on record, and correct me if I'm wrong, of saying, number one, that Lane Kiffin was your top choice. However, that you would be happy and supportive of the move to get Mario Cristobal as a winning and capable coach at Oregon and what he's proven over the last few years.
Yeah, no, that's true. Again, I was out on Manny Diaz from the Michigan State game, 100%. I know that there were other people who, after losing FIU and losing to Duke 2 years in a row, and some other things that happened. The North Carolina game in 2020 where they had 554 yards rushing and 778 total, and could have just scored 62 points in that game, which was a Orange Bowl qualifier. Like whoever won that game was going to go to the Orange Bowl. And you lay that egg. And people were done then and everything. And I said, I was going to give him a chance. And, that didn't necessarily work out well. And so, from the Michigan State game on, I was done. So I can evaluate the performance in the game. I know people were, on good, bad, and ugly. If I gave a grade that was other than fireable, they were like, Cam, what do you think? No. Just letting you know. Still needs to be fired, but I'm going to evaluate this right now. Personally, I'm a Lane Kiffin fan. Been a Lane Kiffin fan. I would like to see Lane Kiffin here. I think he could do great things. But also I think that Mario Cristobal can and will do great things here, especially with the additional commitment of expenditure to build the staff and also pay him. You know what I mean? Like we're paying him $8 million a year reportedly. And spending that or more for the assistant coaches and additional investments for off the field. Assistant or analysts and support staff and things like that. It was a move that needed to be done. First of all, to get rid of Manny Diaz. And, I think that this is the right guy at the right time. Obviously Cristobal has always wanted this job. He's from Miami. He went to Miami Columbus High School. He played at Miami, won 2 championships as an offensive lineman, coached at Miami twice. He wanted this job a few times, when Mark Richter got hired and then when Manny Diaz got hired. But I think it worked out even better, because I wrote about Lane Kiffin in 2015, right? Before we hired Mark Richt. And then when I got on here last week, I was talking about how he's had 6 years of growth and performance from then till now. The same thing is true for, Mario Cristobal. Coached at FIU, went to the Nick Saban School for Wayward Coaches to develop more, and then went to Oregon, won 2 Pac-12 championships, lost in the championship game this year, and, has been an incredible recruiter his entire career. Lord Jesus, we're going to talk about that. But, I'm fully in with it. So don't let my fandom of Lane Kiffin obscure the point here. Like, I'm still going to root for Lane. That's still my dude. I'm going to enjoy supporting him and looking at his teams and things like that. But it is the Cristobal era. I was at, unfortunately, the secret day job, so I was unable to either attend the presser or watch it live. But I watched his opening press conference live, and man, I'm ready to run through a wall because that dude right there, he has it.
We got the same response from the Wholesome One in response to Mario Cristobal's news conference. I did not watch the entire news conference, I don't believe, but I saw almost all of it. I saw a good 25 to 30 minutes or more. And I was mildly impressed. I wasn't ready to run through a wall, but I don't have any emotional attachment to the situation. So what did he accomplish at Oregon? Well, you just ran down the accomplishments, so that would be repetitive. But what encourages you about his stint at Oregon? Because I don't even think that the FIU experience really matters at this point.
Well,
once you've accomplished what you have there at Oregon, meaning.
But I think that, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but the FIU performance informed the path from then till now, because he was doing a decent job. I mean, that's a bad program over there. Their former AD, Pete Garcia, is an atrocious administrator, so he's putting more hurdles and barriers, and you're already running the 110 hurdles. You know what I mean? And he's putting more of them in your way, and he's doing things like that. Like, I already knew that there were going to be these challenges. Why is there a pothole? You know, all of a sudden, why is there fire-breathing tigers all like here? Like, what's going on? Because he's adding those things, and still Mario Cristobal got, I mean, not top talent because it's FIU, right? But Jonathan Cyprian played in the league for a long time. T.Y. Hilton played in the league for a long time. Some other guys who, you know, are now pensioned from the NFL from going through that program, developing, and then going to the league and hitting their, was it 3.5 years of active duty in the NFL to become a full-time or fully pensioned. Like, he did that. Like, they won games and they became a competitive program at their level, right? Not saying that they're this year's Cincinnati or their 2017 UCF or anything, but that was a tire fire, and he raised the floor to average or better. That is a massive job that is not worth overlooking, right? It ended poorly. I mean, it's only going to be sustainable for so long. And again, you have administration who's openly, you know, contentious for what you're doing. Leaves there, he comes here for a moment, you know, and then Alabama is just like, yo, what's up with it? Especially where we were. I didn't like it, but I understand why he would leave here to go there, you know. And if you look, I saw somebody put up a tweet of the majority of the coaches that were there with him in 2015 at Alabama. Nick Saban, head coach, making over or the most money in America. Mel Tucker, Georgia's coach,
Kirby Smart,
Billy Napier, Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin. You got 6 coaches who are all making $7 million or more who were there at the same time as the head coach and then the assistant staff, right? So it makes sense that you go to the Nick Saban School for Wayward Coaches, you coach up some guys, you recruit some guys, and then that puts you on, well, first of all, you see how he runs the program. And just being around that is infectious, you know? Like, that's why I had the success that I had as a music teacher, because I went to Miami and we had one of the best choir directors around. He's world-renowned. He was basically the number one in the Choir Directors Association. He was the president of that for years. So me being in that group, even as osmosis, I'm seeing how that's running, right? I'm seeing the administration of it. I'm seeing the rehearsal practice, which you could say, or the practice and the performance practice, and, you know, performance is being gained. The analogies are right there. But I got that same thing, right, in my field. And then, Nick Saban gives that to Mario Cristobal in the world of football. Then you take that and then you go to Oregon, right? Now, if you look at all the names that Mario Cristobal was the primary or secondary recruiter of, a lot of those Florida guys that Miami's been missing on recently, that's it, guys. Now, then you look at what he did at Oregon. He got there and they had a 26% blue chip ratio. The blue chip ratio at Oregon now is 65% of the roster are 4 or 5 star guys. Look at what they did in California. Now, I know that was because USC was a little bit down, but even before they really started tanking, when Clay Helton was there and he was doing some pretty good numbers, especially on the recruiting trail, Mario Cristobal, one of those homes that he got them guys out of Southern California, continuing that trend. So, and he is a tireless recruiter. You're already seeing him flying all over the country. He went to Miami Central's practice the day that he got hired or announced, still in his suit, and then went to go see Earl Little Jr., the son of Earl Little, who once wore number 4 for the University of Miami, a cornerback in this class. And he also saw Nigel Kelly from Dillard High School, 4-star edge rusher. Then this morning he goes to see Shamar Stewart, 5-star All-American from Monsignor Pace, right? And then hops on a plane to go to Texas to recruit 2 offensive linemen who have decommitted from where? Oregon. Why? Because he left. A 5-star and a 4-star. One of them named Cameron. Come on down. Cameron Williams, who's already taken an official to Miami, but now can take a second official because we've changed our coach. And then I forget the 5-star dude's name, but he's a monster, and he was like the number 2 tackle in America. And he was signed up to play for Mario Cristobal, a former offensive lineman, and his best friend, Alex Mirabal, who's the offensive line coach, who I saw a FSU fan trying to talk down about Alex Mirabal as an offensive line coach, because Alex Mirabal himself is like 5'5". But if you look at the guys that he's recruited and developed, like I want the guy who recruited and developed Penei Sewell, who now plays for my Detroit Lions. First team All-American, didn't allow a pressure basically in his entire career, top 10 overall pick in the NFL draft. Yeah, I want that guy. Because if I'm trying to draft someone to play offensive line, as a coach to play offensive line, give me Garen Justice, give me Mario Cristobal, 6'2", 6'3", and you could tell that he's a big dude, because he was a lineman, right? I don't need Alex Mirabal to play offensive line. I need him to tell or coach my offensive lineman to do the job, and he's done that at many a place. Shut up about it. You know what I mean? But back to the original point, Mario Cristobal's flying all over America already right now talking about recruiting to the University of Miami. The buzz down here from coaches and from players in this class and future classes is to a level previously unseen. I mean, it's not been like this, even with any new coach. And there's many data points of Miami having new coaches where you could have that initial bump of, oh, this guy, da-da-da. It's not been like this in a long, long time. I'm talking since I was in college, damn near 20 years ago or more. You know what I mean? That's when Miami had this kind of cachet. And that's even with Al Golden getting Tracy Howard, the number 1 corner in America, getting Deion Bush, the number 3 safety in America, getting Duke Johnson, the number 8 player overall in America in a class. That's with Randy Shannon getting the number 1 class in America with not Teddy Bridgewater, before him, Ja'Cory Harris and all them boys from the West to come in. That's even with Mark Richt doing a good job. That's even with Manny Diaz recruiting. Not too bad. Now, this year, notwithstanding, yeah. But previous years, not too damn bad, especially if you look at last year with what was happening and what we got on the field. And these freshmen who, played almost, 1,700 aggregate snaps across all the freshman class this year and everything, including, Leonard Taylor and James Williams and Cam Kinchins as well. And these receivers and, there's so much on the field. And you're like, the recruiting was actually okay. And on the first day, Mario Cristobal comes in, and whatever ceiling there was is now gone because it's infinite. And now, I'm not saying that we're going to hit this infinite ceiling, but there was a cap before. There was an actual ceiling. Pretty much the 2020 class for Manny Diaz, that was about the ceiling. You're going to get 2 5-stars, you're going to get some 4-stars. It'll be really good, get some guys who fit, but more than that, probably not. That hard ceiling, gone. It's different, man, and I like it. So, but you see, on the field, like we talked about, championships, I know it's only conference, but championships, right? So division and conference overall. And even though you did not win this year, you still got to the conference championship game. And like I said last week, it was a bad matchup against Utah. Utah's a really good team this year, and they do what you don't, and you didn't have a quarterback. And that's okay. But yeah, you see what he's done there. You see the transformational job of recruiting that was done out there. And now I not only have him leading that, got his best friend Alex Mirabal coming down with that, and now we got $8 million, or more American dollars to go, not just ask, not just select. We're going shopping for these assistants. We got money to spend. So if you're thinking, well, this guy has a good job, there's no way he would. Why would you not? Because at $8 million or more price, right, that's more than Clemson for their assistants. And and they're probably going to have 2 of them were hired away as head coaches this year. That's more than a lot of teams with names that That's more than Florida. That's more than Florida State. We're paying for their assistants. Miami's in that kind of realm and finally willing to put in the money, because it's not that we didn't have it. We were just intentionally being spendthrift. But scared money don't make none. So we said, hey, you know what? Here. And it's not a blank check, and we don't even need a blank check. But we're going to be really intentional to give the kind of support financially to get the staff from the head coach and athletic director on down that we need to be successful and take this thing, which basically you have a race car and you're putting a regulator on it. You can only go 85 miles an hour. But I got this F1 car and I want to feel what 245 miles an hour feels like. No. Put the governor on there. 85 is the most. Take that governor off. Let's go.